Zeus versus Kronos. In the beginning, time devoured its own children. Kronos, titan of time and king of the old gods, feared being overthrown by one of his offspring. One by one, he swallowed them at birth, sealing them within the endless prison of his stomach. But Rhea, his wife, hid the last child, Zeus, and handed her husband a stone wrapped in cloth. Kronos swallowed the deception, and hope was born in the shadows of Mount Ida. When he came of age, Zeus defied his father. He freed his siblings, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia, and together they fought the Titans for 10 years. Thunder split the skies, oceans boiled, mountains crumbled. Chaos became the language of the universe. When Kronos fell, time yielded to will. Zeus raised Olympus from the wreckage of the old world, and for the first time, the gods looked upward, not backward. Poseidon versus Athena. When the gods divided the world, one city remained unclaimed. Beautiful, fertile, and full of promise, it drew both Poseidon and Athena. The sea god struck the ground with his trident, summoning a roaring saltwater spring. He offered the city power and mastery of the seas. Athena, calm and deliberate, touched the earth with her spear and made an olive tree grow, symbol of peace, wisdom, and lasting sustenance. Mortals were called to choose. Between the water that quenched no thirst and the tree that fed and sheltered, they chose the gift of the goddess. Enraged, Poseidon shook the land and flooded the fields, vowing that the sea would never be loyal to humankind. The city was named Athens, and its symbol was neither thunder nor ocean, but the mind that knew when to fight and when to think. Apollo versus Hermes. At dawn on Olympus, two gods met in talent and mischief. Hermes, born that very morning, had already stolen Apollo's sacred cattle. From their guts, he crafted the first lyre, and when confronted, he played a melody so beautiful that even the sun seemed to pause to listen. The theft became an offering, the crime, an act of creation. Fascinated, Apollo didn't punish the trickster. Instead, he granted him dominion over messages and invention. Thus were born trade, language, and music, the tools that bind deception to beauty. The rivalry turned to alliance, light and cunning sharing the same brilliance. Curious, isn't it? The gods don't compete for power. They compete for authorship. On Olympus, creation is always the greatest theft. Hera versus Heracles. Heracles was born of Zeus's infidelity, and for that, he was cursed from his first cry. Hera, queen of the gods, couldn't destroy her husband, so she swore to crush his reflection on earth. She sent serpents to his cradle, and the child strangled them with his bare hands. As an adult, she drove him mad, making him slay his own wife and children. For punishment, he was condemned to 12 impossible labors, challenges no mortal or god had ever faced. For years, Hera watched as the hero hunted monsters, cleansed seas, and bore worlds. Yet he completed them all. Each trial stripped away his humanity, leaving only legend, until Olympus itself accepted his suffering as divinity. Hera never forgave him, but she admitted him among the gods. Because even gods must sometimes admit that punishment can create a god. Ares versus Athena. Ares was the scream, the blood, the chaos. Athena was the thought, the plan, the silence. Both were children of Zeus, both gods of war, but one embodied impulse, the other intellect. When armies marched, Ares thundered through the drums and spears, while Athena whispered in the generals' minds. Every battle was also their duel. Ares sought victory through destruction, Athena through precision and patience. The battlefield mirrored their nature, noise against order, strength against strategy. In most tales, she triumphed, not by being stronger, but by knowing that war never ends with whoever shouts the loudest, but with whoever knows when to stop. And within every human heart, their rivalry continues. Ares and Athena fighting not in the sky, but in us. Hades versus Poseidon. When the three brothers divided the cosmos, Zeus took the sky, Poseidon the sea, and Hades the underworld. But between ocean and abyss, a quiet rivalry grew. Poseidon ruled the tides, Hades the souls. Both lords of the unseen, both feared yet misunderstood. The sea swallows ships, the underworld swallows lives. Neither makes a sound, both simply wait. Hades despised his brother's storms, his restless fury that shattered coasts. Poseidon saw death's realm as sterile and joyless. Yet each held a truth the other ignored. The depths of the sea and those of the underworld are the same, only divided by breath. The gods of the depths never need to fight. They just wait for silence to do the work. Artemis versus Aphrodite. Among the goddesses of Olympus, none opposed each other more than Artemis and Aphrodite. The huntress of chastity versus the goddess of passion. To Artemis, discipline and solitude were virtues. To Aphrodite, they were denial. They embodied forces even the gods couldn't balance. Instinct and restraint, body and refusal. Each believed she was protecting mortals from the other. When mortals fell under Aphrodite's spell, Artemis punished them with cruelty. When others rejected love in the name of purity, Aphrodite cursed them with vanity. Neither ever truly won. The world needed both, desire to move and calm to contain. Between perfume and arrow, love and abstinence continued to duel, not for dominion, but for the right to coexist. Hephaestus versus Zeus. Hephaestus was born imperfect. Seeing him weak and disfigured, Zeus hurled him from Olympus. The fall lasted a day and a night before he struck the sea. Rescued by nymphs, he grew in silence, forging his rage into metal. When he returned, he brought with him fire and craft. He built thrones, armor, and traps. And in one he caught both Hera and Zeus, forcing the king to acknowledge the son he had cast away. He limped, but every step thundered. From his forge came the symbols of divine authority, and no god forgot that the lightning itself was born from hands once discarded. Hephaestus proved that even gods need those who build their weapons. In the end, the maker always outlasts the monarch. Zeus versus Prometheus. Prometheus loved mortals more than gods. Seeing them shiver in darkness, he stole fire from Olympus and gave it to humanity. The gift that brought light also brought defiance. Enraged, Zeus didn't kill him. He immortalized his suffering. Bound to a rock, Prometheus endured as an eagle tore his liver daily, only for it to heal each night. The creator condemned to endless resurrection. Fire became the symbol of reason, of invention, of human awakening, the forbidden gift that could never be taken back. And even in chains, Prometheus triumphed. For the fire Zeus couldn't extinguish was already burning inside mankind. Curious, isn't it? Sometimes a god's punishment is merely the birth of a new kind of power. Apollo versus Dionysus. Few gods embodied such opposite forces as Apollo and Dionysus. Apollo, lord of light, order, and clarity. Dionysus, god of wine, frenzy, and dissolution. One rules logic, the other, liberation. Between them moves the human spirit, forever torn between control and surrender. When one prevails, the world becomes lifeless order. When the other dominates, chaos consumes it. In art, they battle endlessly. The Apollonian sculpture, perfect and still, against the Dionysian theater, feverish and wild. Neither exists without the other. Balance needs vertigo to stay alive. As wine foams and the lyre hums, their war continues. For the mind and the pleasure still share the same throne. And if these myths still breathe through us, share their light, speak their shadows, and let Olympus remember your name. See in the next video.
Pandora's curse. They said her name meant all gifted, but her gift became humanity's undoing. Zeus created Pandora as punishment, a flawless woman sculpted from clay, given life by the gods, and burdened with beauty designed to deceive.